Hello, it's Melinda from Scrapbooking Craft. Just thought I'd come on today and show you my finished sketchbook, or one of my finished sketchbooks for the year. Middle of the year I decided to start, like the idea of zentangling, and sort of didn't know what I was going to do. So I thought I'd start just doing some basic stuff, and then the idea of doing these was to incorporate them into my art journaling. To date, I haven't incorporated one of these drawings into my art journaling. I've just enjoyed the process of sketching. So these are all actually done with a whole series of black, like fine liner pens, ranging from 0.05 to 2, to some of them are done in black gel pen. So they're all done without pencil sketches. So these are all just freehand drawn. I'll point out some of them through the book that are done with, like the outline may be a stencil, and then I've zentangled or filled in with patterns. I've also copied a lot of images. I'm not so great in sketching from my head, but if I've got an image to copy, and I can sort of copy it fairly well. So this is a sort of a black sketchbook. I believe it's Micador brand in Australia. They're actually at Big W, they're $4. I like the smooth weight of the sketchbook paper, and it's white. And I've only sketched on one side, as you can see. So then I had the flexibility of actually taking them out and using them in my art journaling. Or I might photocopy a lot of these and use them in my art journaling. Or I might photocopy some of them and send them out in Happy Mail. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them yet. So these ones are all started as stencils. So this is a stencil I believe I got at the Reject Shop for only a couple of dollars in Australia. Reject Shop's like a cheapy $2 shop. So I sort of stenciled the outline and then sort of just filled them in with different things, with different zentangle designs. So that's another one. Like these are the same, that's not the same owl shape. Some of them are the same owl shapes, and I've just done them a bit different. So this curly one here, for example, is this one down here. So I've just done different versions of them. So this one's different to this one. So I love doing this in front of the television. Another one of the owls, so just doing different characters. Little birds as well, different birds. Some of them I like, some of them I don't like. But it's part of the process of just drawing and doodling and doing things. So I started some ladybugs. These butterflies were done off a stencil. I believe the ladybug outside, I believe I drew these ones myself. This one I drew. These ones are all freehand sketch, but I believe they're copied. This I might have received in a swap, the sort of image, but I've drawn it from inspiration. That's what I'm trying to say. It's very late at night here, so I'm trying to talk quietly so I don't wake up the household. We're on school holidays. So we've got mushrooms and we've got turtles and bugs and different things. So some more turtles and bugs. So as you see, I do a couple of pages on the same theme, just when I'm doodling in front of the telly. This was not happy with the face on this one, but the girl's kind of cute, so if I do incorporate it into a journal page, I can use the wings and the body. Just I don't like the face or the hair. So dragonflies, some more birds, roses. This is a stencil. This is one of the stencils I sell in my store with the roses and the leaves. So I just decided to colour in the rose petals, different zentangly and patterns. This one's another stencil. It's a kid's stencil. It's of a parrot. It's one I use for jelly printing, and then I just coloured in with different zentangle and patterns. When I use these in my journal page, I may cut these out and sort of stick them closer together because there is quite a gap in the stencil. It's a butterfly stencil. A fish stencil, so just playing around. This one I love, and I will turn this one so you can see it a bit more. This is part of one of my stencils in my store as well. I'm not sure whether the face stencils are actually up on my website yet. I've got a load of new stuff to designed and need to cut and put it up there. It's my job for January. So just doodling around and doing different things. For no particular reason then I like to do it. Another stencil that I've got in my store. I added the butterflies, aren't part of the stencil. The stencil is the 3 flowers and the swirls. Another stencil I have that I then coloured in, quite like that one. That one's quite striking. This one sort of didn't turn out as had I envisaged it. I can't talk. As I imagined it. So I did the face. I don't like how I put these eyes in here, but I do kind of like the feathers. So I might turn some of these into journal pages. Go back to this one, I like the idea of the feathers and the half face. We'll see what happens. This one is a stencil. It's the same stencil as, this one, just without the flowers drawn and without this part drawn and without the curls down the bottom. Another one, don't know whether I'm happy with this one or not. It's a bit quirky. I imagine things in my head and then I go to transfer them onto paper and sometimes they just don't work out. But that's okay. So the birds were a stencil, and then the leaves are just free-handed. This one I kind of like. She's sort of hiding behind the zebra print. May turn that one into a journal page. It's another one of my stencils. I'm not quite sure if it's in my store or not. It's actually half a face with these cogs, and then these ones I've stenciled on and added extra. This is another stencil from my store, which is like the Roman clock. It does have smaller clocks in the middle as well. So I've sort of stenciled on some hands and sort of put a face in there. So I kind of like how that one turned out. It's a bit quirky. This one I actually love. This one I love with the hair. Some of these take ages to do, to sit there and draw them all out and sketch them all out. But I do enjoy the process of just sitting in front of the television. This is a skull. This is a skull stencil I designed for Halloween. Not sure whether I actually like that one, but that's okay. Oh, I tried to do a sugar skull. Sorry, I turned this around. Tried to turn it into a sugar skull. Didn't quite work out. It looks more like a scary skull than a cute skull. This is another stencil or a mask I've had. This is one that I bought. Oh, I've had probably this in my stash for quite a few years. And I've just sort of stenciled around it and then I just coloured it in with the texture. Another butterfly stencil, and I've just stenciled in the zebra print. I quite like that. That's kind of cool. Some more stencils with some fish. This zebra stencil is part of my range, and this flower is part of my range as well. They should be on my website. And the fish stencil is just a kid's one that I bought for jelly printing. Again, this one, I had an idea in my head and it didn't translate out to the page very well. So the birds are a stencil and I've just filled them in, and this grass is one of my stencils in my store as well. As you can see, some of the textures is obviously coloured with I think it was a Sharpie marker or a permanent black marker. You get a lot of bleed through onto the back. So what I tend to do so it doesn't mark this page is I put a piece of just cardstock in between the pages, or a piece of light chipboard, just so the pages don't get ruined. Again, I love the birdhouses, but I'm not sure about the birds. I like the clouds. These are all free-handed. The birds were a stencil, sort of the outline, and then the clouds and the birdhouses were free-handed. Then I decided to draw some legs. I was actually admiring some stamps on the internet and I just couldn't afford them, so I thought I'm sure I can draw similar things to use in my artwork. So these boots might have been a stencil, one of my daughter's stencils, I think. And then drew the legs onto it. Just doing some more zentangle patterns. Different things. Oh, this sort of started and just sort of grew. Got mushroom houses, and then I did some hills, and I did some grass and a tree. So I quite like that. That would be kind of cool to turn into a journal page. Oh, turn this one over again. So then we did some funny houses and some more hills with zentangling and different things. If you'd like to see me zentangle stuff like this in like a fast forwarded video, I can sit and try to do some of those. This one I just did some funny looking trees and some more mountains and different things. Just experimenting with different ways to fill in bigger areas. Some of these designs I did see online. Oh, sorry, another one. This one I really like. This was supposed to be like under the sea with all the bubbles. These were supposed to be seaweed, so I really like that one. That one's really nice. Yeah, so I was going to say, before I got distracted, let me know if you want to see some of me drawing these on video, and I can certainly try to do some of that. A lot of the time I just draw in front of the television while the telly's going, while my daughter and partner are sitting there watching TV. I sort of get my sketchbook out and we draw. So I love this one. These are the owls, so they started as a stencil, and then I freehanded in the branches, the leaves, and then did a trunk, so I really like that one. And then I decided to draw some cupcakes and some ice cream cones. I was a bit inspired by Serena B. She brought out a Deadly Desserts. I now own the stamp set, but at that stage, back when she first brought it out, I didn't know whether I'd use it as much, so I decided to then get a bit inspired by her sort of concept, which is kind of cute. And then I thought, well, why can't I make different ones? So here's like a dirty cupcake, here's a Santa cupcake, here's one with a bow, here's a spotty one, a weird looking one, a plain looking one. So I sort of take inspiration from a lot of places. We went along with the cupcakes, and we did like a soft serve cone. We did ones with cherries on top, ones with flowers. This one's kind of cool on the side. He's had a bit of a hard night. More of them. I sort of did a whole series of these. So I like this one with the cherry and the cupcake. I haven't actually done anything with these. Any of these images, they're just sitting in my book at the moment, so I haven't done anything with them. Oh, this one is actually inspired by, and I don't know whether I'll get her name right, Ranger puts out her stamps. Is it Diane Reevely? May not be. Dina Wakely or Diane Reevely, it's one of those two. She has some stamps that look like this. And again, I couldn't really justify the price of the stamp, and I don't know how often I'd use it, really, that image, how often I'd use it in my sketchbook or in my art journaling. So I thought I'd have a go at sort of being inspired by her and drawing some of them. So this, the face is a stencil that I actually produced, that I drew, and then this is all inspired, and I meant to go back and colour it, and I didn't get around to it. So this is a sort of a funky person inspired by the same sort of artist stamps. If you're really into mixed media, you'll sort of recognise this sort of face and thing. This one's sort of my own interpretation. So wearing glasses and funky hair and different things. This one I quite like. It's almost like a self-portrait. So I do wear glasses. I have curly funky hair. I don't wear earrings. I don't wear a necklace. But I kind of like that. There's something different. This one I like. This one I love the funky hair and the glasses. The only thing I'm not happy with is, I love the wings, but I'm not happy with this front bit here. It didn't really turn out the way I wanted it to be. This one I like. So I love the face. The profile face again is off a stencil. These flower outlines are off a stencil, and then I've just sort of freehanded in the wavy of her hair. Again, there's a company that makes a stamp and then it's got stuff in their hair. It's not those two that I've mentioned. Could be Primer Marketing. I believe they've got big stamps of sort of profiles of faces and then got stuff in their hair. It might be butterflies or flowers, different things. This one I really like. This little girl. She's very cute. Again, I could cut her out without the wings or with the wings. Not quite happy with the wings, but some things I'm happy with, some things I'm not. This one I like. She's kind of cute. So she's got a little crown on. I just love the movement in her hair. Not too good at hands, so I usually tuck the hands behind their backs or in pockets to cheat. So, oh, I like this one too. So going back to doing some landscapes with a tree. Really like how this tree turned out, and these mushroom houses on the hill. Just experimenting with different ways to fill in the different things. Another girl, this was inspired from a stamp I saw on the website. I can't remember what sort of stamp it was now, or what brand it was, but I kind of like that. I love the wings on this one. That could have even been a stencil. I think that's a butterfly stencil, just a cheap one from the $2 shop again. These were inspired by another stamp company that I liked. I sort of get inspired, and I believe I've changed up quite a bit of it on it. But they're kind of cool too. This is inspired by, again, another stamp company, which I kind of liked, the drawing. Oh, these are, I so want these stamps, but I really can't justify the cost at the moment. These are Tim Holtz. I can't think of the name of the birds, but they're funny birds. They've got a special name, but you'll recognise them if you use Tim Holtz products. I don't see a problem with me drawing them out like this, or basically copying them and using them in my own art journal pages. I'm not selling them, I'm not making money on them, it's just me drawing and practicing my drawing. So I don't see that infringing on copyright at all, but I love, this one looks like Dracula, but I love these birds. I did some more of the birds. I love these birds, and I love how now he's got the accessories to go with them, so you can dress them up to be different characters. And that bird set, the die set, and the die set of accessories, and the set of accessories stamps is on my wish list. But it's about, to buy the whole 4, I believe it cost me about over $100 Australian, which is just, I don't know how often I'd use it. That's what I was struggling with last year when I was admiring all these new products coming out. How often would I use this bird image? Like, I don't know. This is another one inspired by another rubber stamp image that I saw on the computer. I believe I changed her dress up and changed her wings. Added the flowers, I don't think they were there. Another sort of version of that sort of girl with wings and different things. Also more quirky birds. I decided to do some zentangling on the wings and give them a bit more character. So as I said, these are all sketched just with a black pen. I don't start with pencil at all. I've sort of been able to do that all my life. I can look at a cartoon or look at a character and just sketch it. I basically just look at the shapes and go, okay, what's the front image? And then I build the next image next to it, and then I do sort of the shapes. So most of these I'd start with the eyes and the image that's at the front. So here it's his beak, because if I draw his body first, the line's going to come over the beak. So I look at the image and go, okay, what's in the foreground, and then build it backwards. This is another one I like. This is really cute. So some of them I do quite sketchy like this, with lots of multi-lines, some of them with shading, some of them I just do one solid line, just depending on what I'm wanting to create. This one's kind of cute. This was again inspired by a stamp off the internet. I kind of like her. This one's a freehand drawing of mine. I'm not quite sure. I don't quite like her lips and her mouth. She looks like she's sticking her tongue out, actually. I love the flower in her hair. And I love the movement in her hair. And her eyes are kind of cute. But yeah, I'm not happy with her mouth. But that is the last page. So that's my first book of drawings for last year, and just for 2015, actually, for this year. So I started this in probably only the last 6 months of the year. June, July, I think I started this. And I've actually nearly filled, this is a 60-page booklet, so that's 60 pages of sketches, and I've got 2 or 3 pages left of my next sketchbook, and I need to go buy another one of these. Then I must do something with them, or it's just a nice record of different things that I see and different things that I do. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you want me to do some videos of me actually drawing, or I call it zentangle, but I don't know whether it is when you just fill in shapes with squiggles. Let me know if I'm calling it zentangle and it's not supposed to be. But let me know if you want me to do some videos like that, if you're interested to see, or you just like the flip throughs at the end of the journal. Let me know. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch up with you again. Thank you. Goodbye for now.